What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital. I am also the Director of Research at Leduc Trading, coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is December 18th, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to be talking about the price action, the indices, volatility. We're going to go under the hood and check out the sectors and style factors, some of the trades I took and closed out today. And then we'll wrap up some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. That's the most important thing. So we finally made it to options expiration. I am so relieved, so pumped. Yeah, every one of these options expiration dates, I like to take it as an opportunity to reset my book a little bit, judge my performance, reflect on how I did that month, and, really just take it as a learning experience and try to improve for the next month. But I will say, this month has been absolutely fantastic. There's been a lot of fast-moving stocks. There's been a lot of opportunities to generate P&L in this market. So I am pretty grateful in terms of just, what unfolded this month. And, everything just seemed to click into place. So there's no complaints over here. I'm definitely a little bit tired. Like, I for sure need a bit of a break this weekend. But yeah, it's been an awesome month. Yeah, and I appreciate everybody who's been watching these videos and tuning in. My goal with these videos is to try to, one, share what I'm learning and seeing in the markets. I want to be accountable in terms of, I'm telling people and being transparent about the trades that I'm making. And, I want to teach people and, help them along on their journey. So for everybody who's been watching and giving feedback, I really appreciate that. And I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. So that being said, let's jump right in. Here we have our ES futures, and you can see for options expiration, it's very tough to get any sort of signal out of what's happening in the price action. But, we were pretty far down on the day at one point. Like, we dipped well below this 5-day exponential moving average. And, it sort of looked like, oh my gosh, are we going to have like a big red day for OPEX? But we ended up closing with this hammer type candle, and we closed well off the lows today. So the final box scores were SPY down 0.4%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ down 0.3%. We had IWM small caps down 0.48%. And we had the Dow Jones down 0.33%. So we gave a little bit back today in terms of those headline indices, but there were so many names that were ripping to the upside today that we'll talk about. So that is the S&P 500. Qs are going to look very similar. Although the Qs have been outperforming lately, you can see here, yeah, we had actually a red candle for the Qs, a little bit more bearish than what we saw for the S&P 500. Closed above the 5-day exponential moving average though. And you can see that there was a lot of volume associated with this options expiration. Pretty much, similar story. Then we have these small caps, which have been on a tear since the election. And you can see the small caps also gave a little bit back today, had a bit of a red candle. But in terms of the overall trend, the small caps are still looking pretty fantastic. Then we have the Dow Jones, which I'm sure we're going to notice the same exact thing we've been seeing for the past couple weeks, and that is that it is doing nothing. So you can see we tagged the monthly value area high here, and we closed well off the lows. I'm pretty sure we had a pretty crazy move in like the last 5 minutes of the day. Let's actually look back and let's see here. So I'm seeing our ES futures are now up 0.1%. So this was like some huge fake out for OPEX. Take a look at this. And for options expiration, there's a lot of players that are resetting their positioning, rolling exposure out into the next month. So you do get a bit of a reset of the game board. But take a look at this. So this is, from 9 a.m. on. So it looked like we were going to fall into the abyss for pretty much the vast majority of the day. And then look at this. So this is the, check this out. So this is, see, this is 14. So that's like around 2 o'clock. Literally at, 3 o'clock to 4, there was just this massive, these two massive green candles that erased almost the entire sell-off and got us right back to square one at 3716.5 for S&P 500. So that's why for options expiration, I try not to be too active. I try not to go in with many expectations because a lot of times you end up just chopping around and doing a whole lot of nothing. So let's take a look at our sectors and style factors, and we will see, what was hot today, what was not so much, and we'll see what's leading the market. So these solar stocks up 3.23% today. Keep in mind these are all ranked in terms of their momentum. Solar stocks up. We have this innovative tech fund up 1.88%. That one has risen in the ranks. This one typically has not been at the top of the chart here. Then we have the ARC Next Gen Internet up 0.92%. So you can see what I'm noticing is leading is everything related to innovation, everything related to technology. All these futuristic businesses are doing pretty well. And this is a bit of a change where for the past month or so, we were having like cyclicals outperforming, energy, those sorts of areas. For our laggards, we have the transports down 0.68%. We have real estate down 1.8%, and we have utilities down 0.86%. So those continue to lag. Now let's see if there were any other standouts. Software up 1.42%. Yeah, so there were a lot of haves and have-nots today. I was noticing a lot of these EV plays were doing absolutely incredible. So like if you take a look, stocks like Plug, had a really nice day. Yeah, so Plug just continued to be bullish. We had our position in Plug that we closed out the final piece of it yesterday, and I'm glad that we did because our butterfly wouldn't have been profitable if we had let it go for one more day. So we had stocks like Plug. FCell is one that I did trade today. I picked up some shares, this one for $9.16, and you can see this one went on a pretty fantastic run. Did not close on the highs, but still looking pretty bullish. We just had a lot of breakouts. This stock, Blink, this one actually Samantha traded today. Yeah, it looks like this one had another monumental run, closed well off the highs though. So there were a lot of things moving around. Let's check out our style factors. And you can see the momentum style factor took the lead, up 0.21%. International momentum down 0.13%. And you can see our laggard style factors are value and high div low vol. The interesting thing is high beta was topping the charts for quite some time, a couple weeks. And now you can see that that one is retreating and it's no longer outperforming. So it's very interesting that now as we're getting super close to this as we're getting super close to this stimulus bill, being unveiled and making it through, now we're actually having these high beta stocks pull back a little bit. So not sure if that's a bit of, selling the news before it comes out or really what's happening there, but we are seeing some rotation. Now for some of the trades and things that I'm watching, we had my Expedia trade from yesterday. Well, let's take a look at Expedia because I did put on some leaps in Expedia for 2022. And Expedia actually closed pretty nicely today. So we keep testing this monthly point of control right here. But you can see these sellers don't have enough in the tank to bring this one down and make it, go from a sideways trend to a bearish trend. So I purchased these Expedia call options yesterday. They expire in 2022. They have a strike price of 130. And if this thing continues to go sideways and just test that point of control, and it never breaks below, I'm actually considering, even adding to that position. So we will see how that one goes. FCell already talked about that one. I took a long position from $9.16. And that one is really just a swing trade. We have this VPOC up here at $11.71. So we'll see what happens. That one has a tight leash on it, but up a little bit so far, up about 14 cents. Then we had DraftKings. I closed out my position. And this one, for all these trades, I'm alerting all of the Leduc trading clients as to what I'm doing in real time. For everyone watching these videos, this is a nice little recap, and you can sort of see after the fact. But DraftKings, I actually got super lucky, and I had a really nice exit from DraftKings, where DraftKings opened up down, it was down maybe like 0.8%, and I just took my target and exited the position. Made about, I believe it was like 17% on my February calls, nothing too crazy. But this morning I was in the mindset of, let me take some of the leverage out of my portfolio. And, I have DraftKings common stock that I've been holding, from the upper teens. So this is one where, in addition to holding my common shares, I just love, trading the stock. So for this one, I was like, let me just pull my position off. But yeah, this one was sort of on a roller coaster throughout the day. Closed it well off the lows, and even where it closed for the day, there was actually a headline that hit the tape saying like Ohio sports betting wasn't going to be a thing, and it failed in the Senate. And funny enough, it was pretty apparent that was going to fail in the Senate, but when the headline dropped, it was sort of like a known fact, but the stock took a bit of a hit anyway. So this is one, DraftKings, I continue to follow the company. This is one I love for the long term, and I'm always looking for a long entry. So we'll see, what the river brings on this one. Let's see another one. I took a target in my GoodRx position as well, and that one I closed it for a profit of, I believe it was like 51%. GDRX. And I took my target somewhere around the open. So I got on this one as well. I ended up getting a really good exit. And, more so luck than anything. I closed it well off the lows. Probably, yeah, I basically took my target right on the open here. And again, this is timestamped via alert. So yeah, this one, GoodRx, is another one that I'd like to stick with. So, if we do get any sort of, deeper pullback or correction, I'll likely add back the target that I took off. So yeah, GoodRx is looking pretty good. So I always try to, when the markets are moving really nicely, I always try to take some profits off the table, put some money in my pocket, and then, from there I'll look for other trades. Unity Software is another one that I put on today. I just put this one on in commons as well. Put this one on, got filled around like $155, and this one ended up gaining about like 2% from where I put it on. So again, like I just got like a good string of luck today. But yeah, Unity Software is one that is looking super bullish. This is one that honestly I should have been in way earlier. This was on my watch list as one that I wanted to pick up around like $100 a share, and it really just took off. But now we got our pullback from this level of around like 170, and now this thing is starting to curl upwards again. So I do like this one for a swing trade. And then the other one that I added today was this one, EXPC, and I'm super excited about this one. So I actually added, a pretty big position here today. And this is a SPAC, and they're acquiring the company Blade. That they're an EV company, and EV is so, hot in this market. And they're actually doing electric helicopters. So this one is one where, the SPAC is still pretty close to $10 a share. And to be honest, I don't really think it's on many individuals' radar yet. So this is one where I wanted to get a position on and, take it in some size. So I threw that one on today. And I'm really interested to see, where this one goes, especially if people find out like, oh my gosh, they're an EV company and they do helicopters, like just smash the buy button. We'll see if that happens or not. But I definitely like the risk to reward on this one. That about does it for my trades for today. Pretty light trading day. Just tried to take some chips off the table and then plant some new seeds as well. Let's take a look at some of this options order flow from today, and then we will wrap up shortly after. Let's take a look. I was actually looking at CRM earlier. I'm actually pretty interested in putting a trade on in CRM. But we'll see. More to come on that. This is pretty interesting. We had 56% call flow, 44% put flow. That is more of like a normal level, but over the past couple weeks, it's been like 85% put call flow, 90% call flow. So a little bit of a change there. These Tesla call buyers never stop. So look at all of this Tesla call activity that came in throughout the day. A lot of this was in like the last 15 minutes or so of the session. And you can see a lot of these call buyers, they're buying the December 18th calls. They purchased them at $3.53. So that essentially means they're just going to take delivery, of the stock. So let's see what Tesla did today. And at this point, I don't even know what Tesla is anymore. Like, what is even going on with this company? Yeah, look, up another 5.96%. So this stock, like, it's so funny. I chat with a lot of people, and this one guy who's super smart that I talked to, he's like, yeah, Tesla didn't make sense fundamentally, back when it was like 200 a share. And now it's just, it's up here. Tesla is just, a story stock that, everyone continues to love, continues to go after, and it's looking very bullish here. So people that have been buying all these call options, they're getting paid on their trade, so good for them. We have some IWM calls going up. Energy, this is pretty interesting. Yeah, this is odd that a lot of this flow came in the last 15 minutes. Let's see what XLE did today. Okay, yeah, XLE actually pulled back to the 20-day simple moving average. So XLE's been on, a pretty epic run. Now we're finally getting the pullback. So it looks like, some players are trying to get exposure. I'm seeing, some Apple activity for December 24th. GDX. This is interesting because GDX was at the bottom of the barrel in terms of momentum for so long. And now we're starting to see call activity in those gold miners. Now look at this as well, GDXJ activity coming down. This is also for January of 2021. So if we look at GDX, these gold miners, at this point they're pretty out of favor. Had a nice little run and got to a short-term overbought level up here, tested the 50-day simple moving average, and you can see we had a bit of a pullback today. But if you're a believer that gold is going to get back to the all-time high, GDX, to be honest, like even though it's been on a slow and steady downtrend for the past several months, all it would really take is a couple of good days to get it back to the highs. So pretty interesting. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, moving forward. GDXJ, I'm sure it's a similar story. Yeah, GDXJ looks very similar. So these players are positioning now when it doesn't look, super rosy yet. But best believe if gold does start to move, then, everyone will pile in and they'll try to get a piece of the action too. Then we have Apps Digital Turbine. This is one that I am super bullish on, Digital Turbine. This is the one that I put out my research report on, and we actually hit my price target today, which is pretty cool. So I was targeting, when I wrote that report, Apps was trading around like $40 or so, maybe a little bit less. and my price target was about $55 to $60. I'm not really even a big believer in price targets, but just for the purposes of the article that I made and sort of tying it together with the evaluation of the stock and what you can reasonably expect, 55 to 60 was what I calculated. Now we're there, but Digital Turbine is a stock that I remain bullish on, and I don't think by any means it's overvalued at this level, like at all. So this is one, looks really good, finally making the move that we have been waiting on for so long. And it's one, I'm not going to sell it either or take a target in it. I just want to hold on to it for the long term. Then we have a Baidu call buyer, and then First Solar. This one looks pretty interesting. So First Solar, these solar names have showed a lot of momentum, and First Solar really hasn't had like a big breakout of consolidation yet. So you can see it's sort of stair-stepping up, but there hasn't really been that big move to the upside. The other thing is there is a VPOC at, I believe, 100 in First Solar. Let's take a look. Might have been a different stock where I was seeing just like a VPOC, right up ahead. Let me see, actually. There it is, yeah. So the VPOC around $101.47. So this is one I'm going to keep on my watch list as well, just to see if we can get that move up to around 101.6. So that about wraps up our options order flow. Some things I'll be doing this weekend, doing a review of my performance for the month and just seeing, where did I do well in my trading? What could have been improved? Things of that nature, trades that I took that didn't make sense, trades that I took that did make sense. I want to go through all of that just to try to get better for next month. I'm going to make my weekend watch list. I'll be posting for Leduc clients, and that's actually one of my favorite things to do during the weekend. And then just some R&R. Definitely, OPEX week always wears me out because I'm just trying to manage everything, into the end of the week. So now that that's out of the way, definitely just going to relax for the weekend and just try to, chill out, get a workout in, get some dinner in, and just enjoy. So that about does it for this recap video. Thank you everyone for joining me. Hope you all had a great trading month, and I will see you all next week.